Hey, Chip. So, a Les Paul shaped device. This is a Chapman ml2, which will be the Les Paul type shape thing. Although it's not really a Les Paul. I suppose it depends, and kinda. But it's not really thick and heavy, and it doesn't have the stupid angle, so I can actually sit it on the front rather than having to side mount it. You can't really see it there. It's gonna. But it's a really nice, rich, dark red stainy type thing. It's ridiculous how much fingerprints this take. I mean, I got this and it was like, up here. Hey, God, David, you know, wiped some. How dirty is this guitar? So I cleaned it up and then played it for 30 seconds when I was adjusting the truss rods, and it's all covered in fingerprints again. So it's just too shiny. Yeah. So this is a W13 made in Korea. So World Musical Instruments 2013. Sounds about feasible. So we've got Grover tuners on it on the back there. This is I think Ibanez used to call that colour Cosmo Black. It's actually got a it's got a 3-piece neck and this volute on it, so it's kind of reminding me a little bit of that 70s Les Paul I had, and also quite a lot of the Japanese ones. I can't think of which one I'm thinking of. The Aria Thor sounds has got this, you know, the volute on it with the 3-piece neck, and because the 3-piece neck is actually a better way of making a neck. It's not as cool as going, oh, I've got the 1-piece maple with a, you know, no fingerboard, but it's more stable. It's a better way of building it. You know, because then you can get the grain on the middle bits going that way, and the grain on the outside 2 bits is going that way, so they're kind of, it's much less likely to twist, which is why the Japanese did it in the first place. Got a bit of an interesting join here, which is, it's an Aria PE. Oh, that's a good point. It's not a bolt-on neck, it's a set neck. Yeah, but this, I wonder how they get away with that. Because see, on a lot of Arias, especially the older ones, definitely the ones that say H Noble on the headstock, they've got a patent number. And I looked up that patent number, as you do. And the patent number is for the neck join, which is very like this. I should really look out my Aria PE, because it's kind of what this guitar is. It's very much this. That patent number is on my Aria PE with this neck join, for this neck join. It's also on my PB 1500, which is the neck through bass. It doesn't have a neck join because it's a through neck. So, you know, they're just assuming nobody's going to look it up. I remember seeing that before with was it Hondo had one? They used to have one that had a patent number on it, and I can't remember which guitar it was it had, but it was for something that wasn't on that guitar. Same idea, you know, just patent number looks cool. I think it was it the Hondo? Was it the headstock shape? I can't remember. You can type in the numbers and it shows you what the patents are for. Yeah, so ebony fingerboard. This is all guesswork, by the way. Ebony fingerboard, with infinity frets, obviously there. Twice infinity, because halfway up the neck. See, I wonder, is it that's causing this to not focus? I'd probably give up on my disco things. I'm not playing disco just now. Yeah, see, I think it's just because I just ditch that. Probably not going to want to come off the screw that I put in here. Right, wonder if that helps. Disco. I'll put it back up. Once I've worked out some way of shining a light on it so I can get it doing its thing, I'll put it back up. Yeah, so the lighting's not very good. It looks very black, but it's not. So 2 humbuckers. We've got a Tune-o-matic bridge, and then it goes through the body. Ferrules on the top, ferrules on the back. We've got reveal binding around the edge. See, you can see. I'll tell just by looking at it, it's not a Les Paul because it's not this thick. So you get reveal binding, and then it's much thinner. Bit of a contour there. Bit of a scoop-a-doop on the back. It's kind of arty, and on the front as well. Whether that makes it actually easier to get up to the high frets, it doesn't make it harder to get to the high frets. But whether it actually helps you get to the high frets, it's like, well, it's more of it's an aesthetic thing. So basically, I think so that my pal got this I think I got it for a good price. I was just basically curious about it. You know, it's like they're very popular, the Chapman guitars. I think they keep having lots of controversy and stuff like that. I think the problem is it's that the guy who, Rob Chapman, is a bit of an arse. I think. I don't think he's in any way a nasty person or anything like that. He's just a bit. His YouTube personality is a bit sort of not to everyone's taste. Well, I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I don't have anything against him. He's just a bit one of those folk who kind of like a bit annoying, but that shouldn't make any difference with the guitars. Yeah, so I didn't have to do. The frets are great. I mean, this is 12, 10 years old, something like that. Unless it's had work done to it, the frets are really good. So the frets are either really good because the frets were really good when it was bought new, or the frets are really good because somebody got it worked on. I mean, there's the slightest, you know, it's like you look at these guitars and you go, oh, it's never been played. It's not never been played. There is some slight scraping of the frets, like in the cowboy chord bits, but very little. Not enough to even notice. You would basically say no fret wear, but I mean, there's no fret wear, and this guitar has never been played at all. This is a no fret wear, you know. Yeah, so we've got a volume for the neck, volume for the bridge, master tone with a push-pull pot. So go for a neck pickup, single coil. Bridge pickup. So I've set this up, and then I've now unset it up, because I think the problem is I don't like putting my heating on, so it's quite cold in here. So I think this poor chap, his house is properly heated, so every time I give him my guitar back, I get it to play like a Formula 1 car. You know what I mean? As you do. But then the thing about that is, though, when you take it to a much warmer house, it pulls it back, and it's like it's maybe a little bit spanky. So every time I think he said every time I give him my guitar back, he's got to raise the action just a wee bit. But I mean, it's one of those things that if the guitar can take a very low action and still play, then everything's great on it. You know what I mean? Whereas if you've got a high action, you can get away with a high action if you've got frets all over the place and all that. There's quite often, you know, you buy a guitar that's somebody's had a go at it and basically they got the action as low as they could without buzzing it, and it was sort of acceptable. This one will go down to, well, most of the guitars I do. The exception being, see, when you've got your quirky ones, you know, like the old 60s Kawai ones, and you know, stuff like that, where basically if you can make it play, but you know, you can't get it like with a pure stupid. I mean, I've got the action probably set too low on this one as well. Yeah, so I'm setting them. I'm going to set David's guitars at 1.5 mil instead of 1.25, which I normally do, assuming that that's just going to be when he takes it down to the hotter house. It doesn't, you know, there's a little bit more play in it. There is something to be said about not having the action too low, though. I think, see, if you're a beginner guitarist, I mean, this chap's not, but having like super low, like people who buy, you know, a guitar like this, which obviously these are designed to be set up that way, they're not actually easy to play. I was thinking about this the other day, you know, like what's your best beginner guitar, and it's like, obviously a great guitar is a great one to start with, but something like that one there or that one there, they are not easy guitars to play. They sound phenomenal, they'll do absolutely anything, but it's kind of wasted in someone who's, you know, just learning to play chords. One of the problems I've noticed, because I'm teaching Jen a bit of guitar playing, is I like nines now, and a low action. But what happens is when beginners playing bar chords, they tend to push down slightly too hard, which kind of, so instead of getting you've got you know, they're kind of clamped up because you're holding things down as hard as you can, and when you've got a really low action and really light strings, when you push down as hard as you can, the strings bend. You know, you end up. So in some ways, it is actually better having a slightly higher action and like tens on it, so there's more fight in it. You don't have to be as gentle. Oh, sorry, and then Bucker bridge. Both. neck on it feels like my Gibson SG. So I'm saying very much a Gibson SG neck. I think my Les Paul's a little bit fatter. But it's nice. It's a nice gloss as well, so you get a maple neck. Yeah, I suppose I don't know. Well, it kind of. No. The thing is, see, obviously the routing on this is really nice. Right, you can see the fingerprints here, but see when you don't have pickup rings, right? Even if the routing's really nice, like it is on this guitar, that that you still see like the brass plate with the screws in it. It's kind of ugly. I'm not much a fan of that. I would rather have pickup rings on it. But I mean, leave it the way it is. It's got this thing. I just feel it's kind of it's a wee bit like if you're in a shop or something like that, and you see through the back of the shop, and you can see like the electrical cupboard, and racking and all that shit. Kind of breaks the illusion a little bit. I feel it's a wee bit sort of industrial, and maybe you shouldn't be able to see these bits. These are not branded pickups. I don't know when Chapman started branding their own pickups. I don't know what kind they are. They'll just be the stock ones. But I think later on they got possibly even the same pickups with Chapman written on them. So maybe turn it on, have a wee. Oh, playing through the orange TH30. I seem to have quite a lot of reverb on though. I think I've bashed something. What was it? That switch, that spring room. Yeah, not quite in tune. Been messing with the truss rod. Takes a wee bit to catch up with these things. There's the culprit. Also, I haven't put new strings on this, which I probably should have done. It's just that I know the guy likes his Ernie balls, but I could put a set of Aria Pro strings on it. But I think he would just take them off, so it's probably not worth it. Put them on it if you want to. Go for a single chorus. DFG. That's quite a bad backing track, but I'm going to put bass on it so I can solo over the top. There you go, 15 minutes. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. Utilising this red bass, which is super awesome. Using this in the live stream last night. Also did a video of it yesterday, which it might be the video you see tonight. What time is it just now? It is 6 o'clock. So this one might not make it out tonight, and it might be tomorrow. I'll get the rat pedal out, because what I've done is, because I dusted the loop pedal earlier on, I've gone and I've adjusted something which has made the backing track a bit louder than it should be, which is actually rats. Try to find the funny thing I've been looking at. Next single coil. Obviously I've never used these patterns before, so I'm kind of losing it a bit. Yeah, I totally wing all these videos, by the way. Sometimes something wonderful happens. Sometimes it's like, you know, yeah, I wish I'd done that track, blah, 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 whatever. so there you go. It's sort of relatively short. Okay, it's still 20 minutes long. How do people do 5-minute demos? Anyway, yes, so my views on this particular guitar. I have had one. I don't think it was this model. It might have been. I think it was. Well, I seem to remember having a matte brown one rather than a shiny one. And it was maybe, I think it, so it probably was an ml2, but there's different ranges, I think, and they changed over the years. I think there was, originally it was just a range, and then there was like a sort of, I don't know whether they made a cheaper one or whether they made the range that they had slightly cheaper and then made a more expensive one, and then I think there was made in England ones, and all these different ones, so not all the same. As I just bought a pile of bodies off a guy there who came out in the house because my car's still in getting fixed, and it was saying, it's like, I used to get, they're now called Squires, talking about Fenders, and it's like, no, there's different ones, you can get. Yeah, it's not just a case of back in the 60s they were called Fender, now they're called Squire. It's like you still get the Fenders, they're just much more expensive. You don't see any like as many of them for sale. I think they must sell 100 Squires for every American Fender anyway, something like that. Probably more than that. 100 for every Mexican Fender, or 50 for some, I don't know, whatever the ratio is. But my really only gripe against it is it's the styling thing. I don't really like the Les Paul shape very much, and it's one of those sort of modern, slightly evil looking guitars, which to me, this probably isn't true, but it was when Schecter Diamond series came out, when Schecter got bought over and they were no longer just a custom shop, they were actually producing, I think they were actually producing guitars in this same factory. They had that sort of evil Les Paul look. It's like an evil Les Paul, kinda, apart from it's not. It's significantly lighter and easier to play, and in many ways much better than a Gibson. You look at the thickness of that, it's like, oh, it's like, I bet it's not actually that different. It is. It's just much bulkier. The Gibson, because of that stupid neck angle. It does actually have a carved top as well, but it's nothing like as carved. It's nothing like as much as the Gibson. But it's not flat. It's still got a bit of. And really, the light isn't doing this very much justice. That just makes my t-shirt light up. Maybe it's just because I've got the yellow t-shirt. It's bad for it. But as a workhorse guitar, when we're talking about the learning guitar, if you can get one of these. Again, I don't know if it's a first guitar, second guitar, first real guitar. First one when you've learnt your chords, you can now start. We've been playing for a year, maybe a little bit longer, or if you're not. Assuming you were sensible with your first guitar, and you've got your first guitar actually worked properly, whereas my first guitar didn't work very well, so I couldn't play it. And then 6 months later, I needed to get one that actually worked. This would be the one that you would want if you were starting to go into the studio and starting to gig with. I mean, it's 100% a giggable instrument. As this is sitting right now, it doesn't need upgrades. You've already got Grovers on it. You've already got, all the bits. And having a coil split thing on a guitar like this is just brilliant. It just gives you that option to play. If you are playing something, playing, I don't know, when you're trying to play Sultans of Swing or something like that, it's like it makes a huge difference having a coil split to make it sound Fender-y. Doesn't sound. I'm not saying a split humbucker sounds exactly the same as a Strat, but it sounds a hell of a lot more like a Strat than a humbucker does. You're getting, you're 3/4 of the way there or something like that. I think that's probably about right. 2/3, 3/4 of the way between if you split a humbucker, you get 3/4 of the sound of just a single coil on its own. Still a single coil, but it doesn't sound exactly like what's in your telly or whatever, but much closer. But I mean, it's a guitar I could see how you could totally love. There's your issues. It's a bit of the styling, and maybe not super impressed with the shape because it's kind of Les Paul-y and it's a little bit evil looking. I mean, not that I've got anything against evil looking guitars. I do own a couple of BC Riches, but they're humorous evil, not evil. Do you know, that makes that sense? They're more kind of your, I don't know, like your. Maybe if I go for like I'm going to say Freddie Mercury, like Freddie Krueger rather than Saw, whereas this would be like the more evil, actually people get hurt in it rather than it being really silly. But I mean, it's an amazing guitar, and yeah, I've got no. I can't fault it, really. It's if I was going to do anything different with it, I don't really know what I would do different about it. I'm going to say I don't necessarily really like the look of this scoop thing very much. Maybe. I don't know anything else I would change in it. Or I'd maybe put pickup rings on it, but then again, it's one of those ones, maybe you put pickup rings on it, it'll look horrible. Like there's my amp sitting on top of the pickup rings. I certainly wouldn't alter it. I'm not talking, there's nothing I would alter on it, but I'm talking about if this was at the design stage and I was working with Rob Chapman about designing it, what I would do to change this, and it's like, I wouldn't really do anything. It's all been very well thought out. You've got we get premium tuners, and I would probably argue you don't need Grovers, but I don't know what the price difference is. You know, I'm saying up here that this guitar doesn't really need like proper expensive Grovers on it. You get away with Wilkinson ones, but I'm not actually sure if you're buying them from in bulk and stuff like that, it might only be like £2 more to get Grovers, in which case, yeah, totally put Grovers on it rather than the Wilkinson ones. The Wilkinson ones are pretty much exactly the same, they're just as good, but they're less expensive because Wilkinson's not as the value brand rather than being the premium brand. But yeah, it's like, how do you fault this guitar? Can't really. I don't know if the kids are playing this. Also, maybe a slight amount of, which I think is one of the things that gets a lot of guitars that kind of never really take off. I mean, this brand, as far as I know, still going strong. They're still making stuff. They've got like a Stratty one, which is maybe an ML1, and what's this, an ML3, ML2. So maybe the Telly or the Strat is ML1, and then ML3 will be the Telly or the Strat or whatever it is, but it's not actually, sorry, S-type. This is LP type, because obviously you can't see Les Paul. But then maybe a little bit more, rather than being like a full-bodied Les Paul, I would say it's kind of more like a junior, but with the appointments of the standard, so it's like a junior, but they're always kind of a bit bare woods and very basic. This is like more of a junior dimension and feel, but it's got the fancy bits on it with the top and the binding and the, you know, all the fancy veneer. Probably, well, I don't know if it's a veneer or not. It's like, I can't, the light's not good enough for me to actually see whether that's just a veneer, but it could be like a maple cap. Doesn't look like it. You can look these things up online and find out what they are, but ultimately, yeah, it's a totally fine guitar. If you like the look of it, again, if you're trying to play a guitar, you would definitely, if there's any way you can play it first, because regardless of what everyone, even if I really like it, this is a good solid guitar, I would have no problem someone going up here, you know, if they were teaching us up here, oh, I'm in a band, blah blah blah, thinking of playing, it's like, is this guitar good enough? Damn right it is, absolutely, 100%, totally is. But I can see how you might not like it. I mean, I've got this thing with Les Pauls where I find them really awkward. I don't really like them, but I mean, it doesn't mean they're bad, or it doesn't mean that you'll really love. Maybe you'll like the Epiphone one better than this, but it's not. This is better than an Epiphone Les Paul. Any of them. Well, they're not making them for £1,500 or something like that. They're probably better than this one, but the ones that I'm used to, the ones from the last 20 years, the Epiphone Les Paul standards, what are they, about £400? Like, I think they're even like the older ones, the Samick ones are like 300 second hand, so £400, £500. This is a much better guitar. For me. It's quite funny because I don't like the Telecaster one. I don't like the look of the Telecaster one, although I do love Telecasters. There's not, I mean, I even think something like that, which I'm still classing as being a bit of a Telecaster, I pure love that, but I don't like the Chapman Telecaster. There's something, even though they've managed to make a Telecaster, they've somehow ruined it. I don't know how, just by looking at it. I've never played one. I'm sure it'll play like this. It'll be a fantastic guitar. Just looks wise, there's something odd looking about it. But I think a lot of these things, again, come from your familiarity with the shape. Like, if you've got and had a couple of Les Pauls on your wall, this probably doesn't really, it doesn't look anything like a Les Paul. You know, it's like, whereas to me, who doesn't really have any Les Pauls or any Les Paul shaped guitars, it's like, yep, it is. It's maybe a wee bit pointier here, and it does have it's got a switch there with the 3 knobs rather than having the switch up here, which is fine. I quite like the coil split thing. Definitely a bonus. my favourite thing about something like this coil split being in a push-pull pot is, oh, I don't like coil splits. Don't pull the knob up. Doesn't make any difference. So if you know, there's no point in taking it out or anything like that unless you know. So just basically just if you can't accidentally pull the knob up. So you've got like just a fun. Okay, technically Les Paul's got 2 tone controls, but I don't know. Does anyone ever use them? I know you're meant to be able to, you know, the plan is because you've got 2 volumes and 2 tones, you can blend the 2 of them together and get that sweet tone, and it's like, I've never really done that. It's like my SG had that. It's like never really. I never did much blending. I'll be honest. It's taken a wee while to get used to. I'm not sure. See, this obviously applies to Les Pauls as well, but for some reason it doesn't seem. Oh, there, that's what's different. So I keep thinking of that as being the master volume as opposed to being the neck volume and the bridge volume. You would just get used to that though. But if you actually look at at the Les Paul, which I had no issue with because my SG is the same. You've got this volume and this volume, so this one's kind of the furthest one forward to be your volume, which I've got. This is just purely because I'm more used to that. So you know, volume, that's fine. You know, bridge and neck. Whereas on this one, it's like the first one you get to from the top is the neck volume. There's the bridge volume there, which is where it is on the Les Paul. But on the Les Paul, the neck volume is here, and then the tone, you know, the tones are here and here rather than here and here. So because it's been shunted forward, you're almost at that thinking that could be. It's in the position where you could kind of do your volume swells. I'll turn the amp off. But you're not going to do all volume swells with the neck pickup. So I don't know. I mean, obviously swapping them over is dead easy. I don't. No, before I started modifying guitars, I wouldn't have attempted to do that myself. But I mean, you could just probably just unbolt it and swap the 2, just physically without actually unsoldering anything. But you might break it. So just basically get used to it. But that's just there's nothing. That can't be a criticism, really. I'm used to it being the other way. What's that flying V? See it in the picture. So it's the same. It's got the furthest forward one's the bridge. So it's bridge volume, neck volume, master tone. I don't have any other guitars on display at the present moment. I have. Okay, there you go. Same again. Look, the bridge volume's the one that's furthest up that you come to first. So I've got no issues. I don't have any problem working that, and even that one there. Look as well. There's your bridge volume being the furthest one up, whereas this guitar, it's the neck one that's the furthest one up. But just get used to it. Not an issue. So I mean, yeah, yes, a thumbs up for me. There's this guitar. It's if you like the look of it, but I mean that's always going to be the same thing. You know, it's like when are you gonna playing what it feels amazing, it sounds amazing. I would have absolutely at this fictitious jam that we've turned up to, we're doing a gig, and I'm sorry I've stood in your guitar, you can use mine though. Or you're sorry I've just snapped the jack socket off your guitar because I stood on it, you know, from the support band. You can use mine if you want. Yeah, fine. Absolutely fine. I would have no issues. Or having a jam, I would choose to use it. You know. Perfect. So, rock on. I don't know if you'll see this today or tomorrow. It depends whether it's uploaded in 35 minutes. And it's a 35. It's not going to have uploaded. So today's Tuesday then for you. I've just picked up a box of stuff for J-Packs. This guy is clearing out his dad's stuff. It was a bit of a mad guitar thing, and I've got 2 big boxes this big, 3 big boxes this big, full of bodies and necks. So I'm going to have to look through them. I've not even had a chance to look at them because it technically wasn't me that bought them. It was Jen bought them. But I've collected. Well, the guy actually dropped them off because my car's not working. So I've got them. She's staying with somebody who the couple she's staying with like get up at 5 a.m. because they run a bakery in Arran or something like that. So they basically go to bed at 8 o'clock at night. So 8 o'clock at night, Jen's going to be sitting there bored. She's probably gone with her. So I'll phone her and then I'll have a look through the box and see what we're doing. And then once I've done it, because it's Jen's stuff, I'll probably do another box for you lot of going, look, oh, surprise, even though I've already been through it once. But I'll probably know a bit more what's in there. And you lot could probably help me as well, finding out what some of the bits are, because it's not a case of here's the body and the neck of the same guitar. From what it looks like the bodies are all completely separate to the necks, so it's like I don't know what they all are. Maybe a few of them I know what they are, but it's one of those ones I go up here, oh, that's I would maybe remember. The poor guy got ripped off by a guitar shop. He was looking at it, he was trying to sell, well, as I said, he lost his dad, and he's like, show me, I've sold one, I sold that one, and he showed me it was like a Burns Hank Marvin-y looking one. I don't know what that one's called. Kind of looks like a Strat, but it's, the Burns one. It's got the Trisonic pickups in it. It's got a dent on the back there, like it had been dropped, like quite a bad one, but the rest of it looked mint condition. I was like, all right. I was like, oh, we've lost money. I was like, but you still got 200 quid for it, though. And the guy's like, no. I was like, all right, with the dent, it's like, you get 150 quid. I mean, I think there may be about 200, 250 in good nick, sort of thing. And he's like, yeah, a guitar shop gave him 50 quid for it. It's got 3 Burns Trisonic pickups in it. I think 3 Burns Trisonic pickups are worth 50 quid. And the rest of the guitar was in good condition. So it's one of those things. I feel a wee bit bad. I'm going to, he sold me those 2 boxes worth of stuff far too cheap. Well, not far too cheap. It's all in bits. But you just don't know. He's not really into the guitar, so he doesn't know what any of the things are really, and I'm going to offer to help him out because I'm not going to rip him off. Even if it's something I don't want, I'll be like, he said he'd get pedals and stuff like that, so I can look through them and, some of them will be worth money. I don't know that much. I'm not like an expert on pedals or something, but I can tell looking at it and going like, nah, it's not really worth anything. I'm expecting to find, like Digitech, the wee stompy things, the Zoom 505 or whatever they are, that sort of thing. It's like 30 quid's worth type thing. I kind of know what they are, but obviously if there's something that's like, oh my god, there's a Klon. The Klon's worth a bit of money. I'll give you 50 quid for it. No, not going to do that at all. I can't do that sort of thing. If somebody's selling something, even sort of, I feel guilty about somebody saying, I feel guilty about the Red Star, but the guy got it 10 or 15, 20 years ago or something like that because somebody owed him money and they gave him that guitar instead. So I think for him it was 20 years ago he probably had a 80 quid or something like that. So he's just going, it's a bit thing where it's a bit dirty, these new strings are, and I didn't haggle. I just gave him the money he wanted for it. I'm not going to haggle with something. Even with that guy there tonight, it was like, so I wouldn't, not haggling. You don't haggle if you've got a pure bargain. If you're haggling when you already know that what you've got is worth more than that, the karma's going to get you. That's why I still feel guilty about this. I didn't know what it was I had though when I bought that blind V and I haggled. I shouldn't have. It was stupid. That was like probably nearly 10 years ago, and it'd been for sale for ages. And I thought it was taking a risk, to be honest. Because I didn't think I'd be able to glue the neck back on again. So I've got like a flying V body and some pickups which might or might not work because none of them are connected. And you're like, still did all right. I shouldn't have haggled. I'm sure something must have happened to me after that. I maybe hurt my leg or something like that the following week when karma got back to me. But it's always nice to be nice. So rock on, and I shall see you during the week for more guitar-y, smarty thing. If you could like and subscribe, that would be awesome. I never say that. I should maybe just get a like and subscribe t-shirt or something so I can remember to say it. It does make a difference. I feel like I'm just like I'm asking for something. It doesn't cost any money to like and subscribe. You don't need to watch all this crap. And any suggestions you've got for videos you want to see, I suppose, again, they're always there. I'll be able to answer questions this week. Last week, because I was away, I'd done all my videos on Monday. I had my phone on me, but I wasn't going to be, you're away on a trip, you don't want to be sitting answering questions on YouTube. So I think it's rude. Rock on, see you later.